In this video, we are going to discuss whether interest income from PPF, interest income from personal loan and advances, as well as the interest income from saving bank account or a personal FD with bank are included in the aggregate turnover for the purpose of taking GST registration. In one of the Advance Ruling Authority decision given by Gujarat Advance Ruling Authority in a case of a Savai Manohar Lal Rathi, it is held that such interest income shall be included in the aggregate turnover for taking a GST registration. The whole issue is as under: the applicant's total income is 20,12,000. His rent income from a commercial property is 9.84 lakh, and balance income is interest from PPF, saving bank interest, fixed deposit interest, and interest from personal advances to others. The applicant has also stated that such interest income is out of his personal investment, it is not business income. The person has asked the AAR that whether he is required to take a GST registration as his total income exceeds 20 lakh. Whether such interest income is included while calculating the threshold registration, the AAR said that aggregate turnover will include exempt supply. Therefore, interest amount will be included for the purpose of calculating the threshold of registration under GST. However, we are not agree with the decision. Our comment as well as the analysis and our strictly personal opinion we are discussing here. As per section 22, the person is required to take a GST registration if his aggregate turnover exceeds 40 lakh for the purpose of goods or 20 lakh for the purpose of service. There is one explanation inserted under section 22 that a person shall be considered to be engaged in the supply of goods even if he is engaged in the exempt supply of service provided by way of exchanging deposit, loan or advances, in so far as the consideration is represented only by the way of interest or discount. However, the above explanation is only for the purpose of intra-supply of goods. So, it is applicable only for the purpose of intra-state supply of goods. It is not applicable for the purpose of supply of services. Here the case under consideration is for the purpose of supply of service. So, this explanation is not applicable. However, we hereby analyze the different definition under given GST, and we will make the conclusion that such interest income should not be included for the purpose of aggregate turnover while determining the threshold limit for the purpose of GST registration. First, we will discuss aggregate turnover. The aggregate turnover means all taxable supply, exempt supply, export and interstate supply of person having same PAN. Here the word is exempt supply. So you have to look into the two definitions, that is exempt supply as well as the definition of supply, because here aggregate turnover include exempt supply. So you have to look into the definition of exempt supply as well as the word supply. What is the meaning of supply? So we will now discuss the definition of an exempt supply. Exempt supply means the supply which attracts the nil rate of tax. So the supply which is attracting the nil rate of tax will be considered as an exempt supply. Further, the supply which is wholly exempt under section 11 of CGST Act or under section 6 of the CGST Act. Such exemption is given via the notification under CGST Act. The notification number 2/2017 is for the purpose of exemption in relation to the supply of goods, and notification number 12/2017 is in relation to the exemption for the purpose of supply of services. Further, the exempt supply will also include the non-taxable supply. Which is non-taxable supply? Non-taxable supply will be alcoholic liquor for human consumption and 5 petroleum items, that is petroleum crude, high speed diesel, motor spirit, that is commonly known as petrol, natural gas and aviation turbine fuel. So the exempt supply means the supply which attracts the nil rate, which is exempt under notification and which is non-taxable supply. Further, under notification number 12/2017, which is related to the exemption for the purpose of supply of services, in such exemption notification entry number 27A deals with the following exemption, that is services by way of extending deposit, loan and advances so far as it is represented by the interest or discount other than interest involved in a credit card services. So any interest income other than interest involved in a credit card services will part of the exemption via exemption notification number 12/2017. So here we can conclude that the interest income is exempt supply. However, we have understood that in the definition of aggregate turnover, here there is a definition of aggregate turnover, it will include the exempt supply. We have already understand what is exempt supply. Now we will understand the word supply under GST. So the word supply under GST is defined in an inclusive manner. If you look the definition of supply, then as per section 7 subsection 1 clause A, it includes the supply of goods or services for consideration by person in the course or furtherance of a business. So here for our discussion, the wording in the course or furtherance of a business is most important. Clause B of the said section states that only in the case of an import of service for a consideration, furtherance of business is not required. So for the purpose of section 7 subsection 1 clause A, the condition of in the course or furtherance of a business is required to be fulfilled in order to term the same as a supply. If this condition of in the course or furtherance of a business is not fulfilled, then it can't be treated as a supply. Now here we have also read one word that is called business. So what do you mean by a business? Business is defined under section 2 subsection 17 of CGST Act. If you look at the definition of a business, then receipt from a personal loan or advances, deposit of bank interest, et extra are not covered in the terms of business. So now the question may arise whether the amount invested in a PPF and interest earned on such PPF account will it called as a in the course or furtherance of a business. So answer is ideally PPF is a personal investment. It is not a business investment. So interest on such PPF account will not be considered as a business income. So it will not part of a in the course or furtherance of a business. Next, whether interest earned on a saving bank account or a fixed deposit with a bank can be treated as a in the course or furtherance of a business. Saving interest or a interest on bank deposit is also a personal income generally. Therefore, it cannot be considered as a business income. However, if such FD is for the purpose of a business income, then such interest income may be considered as a in the course or a furtherance of a business. So, as and when such interest income from a bank is for the purpose of personal investment, then it can't be treated as a in the course or furtherance of a business. Next, if you have given advances to your friends or a relative, that is your personal advances, not a business advances, then on which such advances you have earned interest, can it be considered as the course or furtherance of a business? So such personal advances is for the purpose of interest earning cannot become under the ambit of a business income. So it cannot be considered as a in the course or a furtherance of a business. So for the purpose of supply under section 7 subsection A, the condition must be fulfilled that in the course or furtherance of a business is must for the purpose of considering the supply. However, such condition is not fulfilled in such interest income. So we can conclude here that it will not be part of aggregate turnover. Further, the advance ruling authority has held that interest on a personal loan or advances or a bank interest is a part of a exempt supply. Hence, it will be held that it will be included in calculation of a threshold for exemption. But here the question is whether such interest is taxable. The answer is, for the purpose of levy of GST, if you read section number 9, then for the purpose of levy, supply shall be the precondition. If there is not supply, then you cannot tax under the GST law. If something is not supplied, then it can't be taxed under GST. And if something can't be taxed under GST, how can you provide the exemption under GST? So, here the interest is at all not part of a supply. We have understand that in the course or furtherance of a business condition is not fulfilled. So, it is not part of a supply under section 7, subsection 1, clause A. So, under section 7, subsection 1, clause A, the condition of in the course or furtherance of a business is not fulfilled for such interest income. So, it can't be considered as a supply. Once it can't be considered as a supply, it can't be taxed under GST. If something is not taxable, that is such interest is not taxable, then how can government provide exemption for such item? If something is at all not taxable, then what is the benefit of providing the exemption under GST for such item? So, our conclusion is that, in our opinion, interest on PPF, bank interest, other bank interest for personal FD et extra, or interest on such personal advances will not part of a supply. And if it is not part of a supply, it cannot be considered in the ambit of an exempt supply, because exemption cannot be given for a transaction which is not at all the supply or which is not at all the taxable transaction. Hence, such interest on PPF, interest on FD, interest on saving bank account, or interest on a personal advances will not be included in the aggregate turnover for determining the threshold for the purpose of GST registration. However, this is our strictly personal opinion. User must consider the legal provision. This is our personal opinion. Thank you.